You know what's the difference between you and that guy you admire? That dude who wakes up at 5 a.m., hits the gym every day, builds $1 million business, and still has time for family. It's not discipline. It's who he hangs out with. And if you think this is bullshit, well, the next few minutes are gonna completely change how you see your friendships. Look, you can read all the self-help books in the world. You can watch all the motivational videos. Hell, you can even tattoo discipline on your arm. But if you keep hanging out with losers, you will become one. Hold up. Don't close the video yet. I know that hurt, but that's exactly why you need to hear this. Because until you face this brutal truth, you're gonna keep sabotaging yourself. And the worst part, you won't even realize it. Let me tell you a quick story. There was this guy, let's call him Pete. Pete was ambitious, woke up early, hit the gym, worked on his online business. Everything was going great until he started hanging out more with his college buddies. You know what happened? In 6 months, Pete stopped training. Can't make it today. The boys want to play FIFA. In a year, the business failed. Why work so hard? Life is now. Today, 3 years later, Pete works a job he hates and keeps complaining that he didn't have opportunities. Pete had opportunities. He just chose the wrong friends. Jim Rohn used to say, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." But let me tell you something he didn't tell you. This isn't cheap philosophy. It's pure neuroscience. Your brain has these things called mirror neurons. You know what they do? They literally copy the behaviors of people around you automatically, without you even noticing. It's the same mechanism that makes a baby smile when you smile at them, or that makes you yawn when someone yawns near you, except it works for everything. Habits, mindset, behavior patterns, everything. That's why when you hang out with smokers, your chance of smoking goes up 61% when your friends are obese. Your chance of getting fat jumps 171%, and when your friends are undisciplined, you already know the answer. But that's not all. There's this Harvard study that followed people for 75 years. You know what they found? That the biggest predictor of success isn't IQ, isn't where you were born, isn't how much money your family has. It's the quality of your relationships. And quality isn't about how long you've known each other. It's about where these people are taking you. Let's do a quick exercise and be honest. Because lying to yourself is the first step to failure. Think about your 5 closest friends, the ones you talk to the most, hang out with, exchange ideas. Now answer, how many of them wake up early? And I'm not talking about waking up early because they have to go to work. I'm talking about waking up early because they chose to conquer the day. How many have a consistent workout routine? Not going to the gym in January and disappearing in February. I mean training for years. With discipline. How many are building something meaningful in life? A business, a project, a solid career. How many read books regularly? And I don't mean coloring books or gossip magazines. I'm talking about real knowledge. And how many have clear goals for the future? Not some vague dream like I want to be rich. I mean goals with deadlines, plans, and daily action. If you answered 0 or 1 to most of these questions, Houston, we have a problem. But wait, the problem isn't them. The problem is you choosing to be there. Oh, but they've been my friends forever. So what? Cancer can be in your body forever too. Doesn't mean you should keep it there. Ever heard of the crab syndrome? When you put several crabs in a bucket, none of them can get out. You know why? Because when one tries to climb up, the others pull it back down. Your friends do the same thing. Going to train again every day with this. Why wake up early? Life is meant to be enjoyed. You've changed. You're not the same anymore. This entrepreneurship thing is a scam. Relax. Dude, you're too intense. Recognize these phrases? Every time you hear this, it's a crab pulling you to the bottom of the bucket. And the worst part, they don't even do it on purpose. It's just that your evolution exposes their mediocrity. And nobody likes having their mediocrity exposed. Think about it. When you start waking up early, what does your lazy friend feel? That he should wake up early too. But instead of changing, it's easier to convince you that waking up early is stupid. When you start a business, what does your friend with the secure job feel? That he should take risks too. But instead of leaving his comfort zone, It's easier to convince you that entrepreneurship is dangerous. It has basic emotional math. It is easier to pull you down than for them to climb up. There are 3 types of friends that destroy your discipline, and you probably have at least one of them in your life right now. There's the subtle saboteur. This one's the most dangerous. He doesn't directly say you're wrong. He uses concern as a weapon. You're working too hard. You need to relax a bit. Life isn't just about work. I'm worried about you. Bro, sounds like he cares, right? Bullshit. He just wants you to stay at the same level as him, because if you rise, he'll have to face the fact that he chose to stay still. This type is an expert at planting doubts. Is all this sacrifice worth it? What if it doesn't work out? You're wasting the best years of your life. And the worst part is he does this with a smile on his face, like he's your best friend. But real friends don't plant doubt. Real friends plant courage. Then there's the eternal complainer. You know this one well. Nothing is good. The government, the economy, the boss, the weather, the traffic, the neighbor's dog. He has an excuse for everything. And you know what the problem is. Excuses are contagious. The more you listen, the more your brain starts looking for excuses too. It's automatic. Remember the mirror neurons? This guy is an energy vampire. You could be having the best day of your life, achieve something incredible, feeling motivated. 5 minutes talking to him and you're already depressed. He'll tell you about the crisis, about how hard things are, about how someone failed, about how the system is unfair. And suddenly, you who were ready to conquer the world are thinking, why even try? And then there's the party professional. Let's have a drink today. Just today. Tomorrow you go back to your diet. You only live once. Man, you've become so boring. Where's the fun guy from before? This one thinks discipline is prison. That routine is boring. That success is luck. And every time you give in just today, you're telling your brain that your goals aren't important. Just today is the phrase that destroyed the most dreams in history. You know what's the saddest part? This guy is usually 30, 40 years old and still lives like he's 18. Same parties, same conversations, same problems. The only thing that changed was his belly and bank account. For the worse. Now let me tell you something that's gonna hurt even more. You're an accomplice. That's right, every time you accept going out with them, every time you laugh at jokes about your gym obsession, every time you give in to avoid conflict, you're being an accomplice to your own mediocrity. You think you're being nice, being a friend, being the peace, but actually, you're being a coward. Too coward to choose your future over momentary comfort. Now comes the part nobody tells you. When you start distancing yourself from these friends, you're gonna feel alone, really alone. And you know what? Great, because here's the thing. Discipline transforms, but it can only transform you when you stop letting others hold you back. It can only work its magic when you create space for it to grow. And sometimes that space comes from letting go of people who don't understand the journey. Productive solitude is better than destructive company. Always. The Stoics knew this 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Solitude is the price of greatness." But it's not forever solitude. It's temporary solitude. Because when you change your standard, you attract people of the same level. It's basic physics, like attracts like. When you're vibrating at loser frequency, you attract losers. When you start vibrating at winner frequency, losers naturally move away, and winners show up. It's almost magical. You start training early in the morning and meet disciplined people. You start a business and meet other entrepreneurs. You start reading and meet intelligent people. The universe conspires in favor of those who have the courage to change. People who elevate your discipline have specific characteristics. They don't talk. While your friends talk about what they're gonna do. These people already did it, and they don't need to post on Instagram to prove anything to anyone. They also celebrate your victories. When you achieve something, they're genuinely happy. No envy, no buts, just real pride. Because your victory doesn't diminish them. On the contrary, it inspires them, and more importantly, they challenge you. Not with empty criticism, with questions that make you think, with examples that inspire you, with actions that motivate you. You'll notice they have solid routines. They wake up early because they want to. They train because they enjoy it. They work because they have purpose, not because someone told them to. And there's something that always impresses me. They talk about ideas, not people. Small people talk is gossip, complaints, drama. Big people talk is about ideas, projects, solutions. They don't waste time bad-mouthing anyone, not because they're nice, but because they're too busy building to waste time destroying. Okay, but I can't just cut everyone out of my life. Calm down. Nobody's telling you to become a hermit. The strategy is smarter than that. Start by doing a social audit. List all the people you spend time with. Yeah, all of them. From work, family, hangouts, WhatsApp, everyone. Now, next to each name, put a plus sign if this person inspires you to be better, a minus sign if this person pulls you down, or 0 if they're neutral. Simple as that. No drama. Just facts. It's not about liking or not liking. It's about direction. Where is this person taking you? From there, you apply the 70-20-10 rule. 70% of your time with positive people, 20% with neutral people, 10% with negative people. You don't need to cut anyone off. Just reorganize your priorities. That friend who only complains, instead of having lunch with him every week, have lunch once a month. That WhatsApp group that's just gossip and negativity, mute it and check once a week. And there's one more thing. Create new circles. Early morning gym only has disciplined people. Nobody wakes up at 5 a.m. to train if they're not committed. Entrepreneurship events only have people with growth mindset. Book clubs only have people who invest in knowledge. You find eagles at the top of mountains, not at the bottom of valleys. This is the hardest to accept. Just because you grew up together doesn't mean you need to grow old together. People change. Or worse, they don't change. And if your childhood friend is still in the same place, with the same mentality, doing the same things, you're not compatible anymore. And that's okay. You don't owe loyalty to anyone's past version, not even yours. Gratitude for the past isn't a prison for the future. You can be grateful for the moments you lived and still choose not to share the future. It's not betrayal, it's evolution. You know that story about the friend who was always there. Bullshit. If he was really there, he'd be evolving with you. He'd be supporting you. He'd be growing. Together. Being physically present isn't really being there. Really being there is supporting your dreams, celebrating your victories, pushing you forward. When you start hanging out with disciplined people, something magical happens. Waking up early stops being a sacrifice and becomes standard. Training stops being an obligation and becomes pleasure. Working on your purpose stops being tiring and becomes energizing. Why? Because now this is normal in your circle. And your brain loves normality. It will always try to adjust to what's normal in your environment. If in your environment it's normal to complain, you'll complain. If it's normal to procrastinate, you'll procrastinate. If it's normal to make excuses, you'll make excuses. But if in your environment it's normal to wake up early, train, read, build a business, grow, guess what you're gonna do? Change your environment, change your life. You don't need to personally know someone for them to influence your life. Choose 3 virtual mentors. One who's already where you want to be, someone who already achieved what you're after. Another who overcame challenges similar to yours, who went through what you're going through. And a third, who represents your deepest values, who reminds you of who you want to be. Consume their content. Daily, podcasts, books, videos. Your brain doesn't differentiate virtual from in-person influence. If you listen to someone every day, that person is in your circle. Use this to your advantage. Instead of listening to complaints at lunch, listen to a podcast about entrepreneurship. Instead of scrolling through gossip on Instagram, watch a video about personal development. Instead of reading frustrated people's rants on Facebook, read a chapter of a book that teaches you something. Let me be brutally honest with you. If you got this far in the video and you were thinking, but I didn't want to hurt my friends' feelings, you've already chosen mediocrity. Because deep down, you know I'm right. You know they're holding you back. You know you need to change. But you prefer the comfort of shared mediocrity over the discomfort of solitary growth. And you know what? It's your choice. Just don't complain in 5 years when you're in the same place, with the same problems, with the same friends, with the same excuses. Meanwhile, that guy you admire, he'll be at another level. Not because he was born special, but because he had the courage to choose who to hang out with. But if you have courage, if you have the discipline to make the hard choices, I promise you one thing. A year from now, you'll look back and won't believe you were afraid to do this. Your new friends will inspire you every day. Your mornings will have purpose and energy. Your projects will have support and mentorship. Your life will have meaning and direction. And those you left behind, they'll be exactly where you left them, complaining about the same problems, making the same excuses, living the same lives. And some will talk shit about you. They'll say you changed, that you became arrogant, that you forgot your friends. Let them talk. It's the choir of mediocre people trying to justify their own cowardice. The choice is yours. Always has been. Nobody's gonna knock on your door and force you to change. Nobody's gonna drag you to the gym. Nobody's gonna delete the toxic contacts from your phone. It's you. Just you. And it's now. If this video opened your eyes, you know what to do. Share it with someone who needs to hear this, but not with your mediocre friends. They won't understand anyway. Share it with someone you know has potential. Someone who just needs this push. Someone you want to see growing together. And if you want more content like this that wakes you up to reality, subscribe and hit the bell. Because my commitment is to the truth, not to your ego. The truth sets you free, but first, it pisses you off. See you in the next video, and remember, you are not obligated to sink with the ship just because you boarded it one day. Positive Boost Now, where truth meets transformation.